2x2 rolling start for the Hyperacer X1 machines. The Hayabusa engines roar. We are underway on this contact.
This was supposed to be the weekend that showed whether I'd actually improved. The same car and the worst grip that I've ever driven on, and the final set of tyres at the end of the season. Earlier this year, we were running the same track but on brand new tyres, and I was running lap times in the 122s. This weekend, with everything working against me, I was doing them again. Practice told me that the speed was real, but qualifying just didn't quite come together. And the races forced me to drive so far beyond the limit just to try and hang on to it. There were mistakes, there was chaos, and there were moments where I genuinely surprised myself. This is how my final round of the season actually unfolded.
Said I'm taking big shots, just stop when I'm driven, no pit stops. This hot, I ain't playing like a 6-spot. Pissed off, but I told him this a chip shot. I ain't missing cause you know I'm taking big shots. Just stop when I'm driven, no pit stops.
Starting things off with practice, it went really well. As I mentioned in the intro, we ran practice on some very old tyres and managed to place both sessions in P8, with pace and competition being incredibly close. But heading into qualifying on Saturday morning, we had dramas. "20 minutes before we were about to head onto track, the rain had started to pour. It was enough to wonder if it was wets or slicks. However, it had stopped and seemed pretty good for slicks, with the only problem being that everyone in the pits was convinced it was going to be dry for the first part of the session, and then it was going to come down hard, giving us just 3 laps to set a proper lap time. So slicks it was, and probably 3 laps before it was all over. Or so we thought. Rolling onto the pre-grid, I could see the droplets coming down onto my visor, and so I was absolutely itching to get out there and get a banker lap in the dry before it got any worse. The lights went green and all hell broke loose. The plan was to get some tyre temp on the outlap and then just go flat out until it rained. But that's when my problems really commenced. So on lap 1, I'd caught the driver ahead by turn 4 and ruined the first lap. Lap 2, no problem. I'll give him some space and go again. Caught him again, unfortunately. I even tried to overtake him, but he was not having it. Lap 3, I'm thinking to myself, alright, it's not really raining yet, I've still got some time and I've got a huge gap. Let's go. Impeded. Lap 4, I finally managed to get a lap in, but with me thinking that it was about to rain, it was nothing more than an average banker lap. So lap 5, at this point, the rain seemed to be holding off, so it was time to really start to push. Despite the gap, in 4 corners, I was up the arse of the driver ahead. Lap 6. Then I got in what I think was my fastest lap. The lap was alright, the car felt so on edge and nervous on corner entry. This was largely due to a problem with my brake bias. Despite being at the absolute front limit of the adjustment for my brake bias, I was still locking the rear tyres. This is an issue that most people experience in these cars, and then if it's bad enough, then there's a modification which you're allowed to do to the brake master cylinder balance bar that shifts the entire adjustment range forwards. Obviously that was out of the picture for this weekend as it involves machining and we were going to have to deal with it. Then the rest of quali went like this. The next lap, impeded. The next lap, I cooked it and lost the rear. Then for what was going to be my fastest lap easily, I locked the rears into turn 10 and completely ruined the lap. Next lap, checkered flag. So with it all said and done, it was P12 in a 20-car grid, despite only really getting 2 proper laps in. Now this really frustrated me. But with qualifying done, Friday was over and Saturday was a new day with race 1 to kick things off.
Big time, knowing that, diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of
on the clock, and let's see how this one's going to play out. Hamish Layton is our Masters leader at the moment there. He's sitting 4th overall. Where will he end up as well? Here they come then, 2 We are underway on this contact.
So as you can see, lap 1 was pretty eventful from where we were standing in the midfield. Story goes that someone up ahead missed a gear, which caused a huge concertina effect down the grid, causing a little collision which almost wiped out half the field. Jumping forward a few laps, you can see a huge ball of dust up ahead as Kyle has left the track and picked up some front wing damage. This is going to make him pretty vulnerable in the later laps of this race. You can see up ahead now, Nico is putting a move on him into turn 1, and pretty soon it'll be our turn to try and get by. So fast forward about 1 lap, and as you can see, it is now our turn to have a crack. He does have a bit of front wing damage, so this shouldn't be too hard. Coming through turn 3 and down the hill, he still has a little bit of front downforce, because you can see I'm only gaining a little bit. I mean, obviously just until I run up the back of him. I'm showing my nose down the inside here into the sweeper, sorry. And that's going to set him up a little bit poorly into tip 1. I'm going to just dive bomb him, and I think he's just going to let me through, essentially, because there's no point in him really fighting that. And then you can see here, this is a great testament to the grip levels that we're dealing with as I come into the second tip, getting on the power and just getting a bunch of rear wheel spin. It was absolutely hectic out there as we then come across the line to finish this race in P9, but it is going to get a little bit more interesting than that. So as you can see here, we're actually heading back to the weigh bridge where we need to get weighed to make sure we're not under the minimum weight. Now this is where I said things are going to get a little bit more interesting. Obviously we actually came in 20 kilos over the minimum weight, which I was kind of expecting. But the interesting part was that 2 people in front of us actually got disqualified from that race, and we'll need to start the next race from the back of the grid for being underweight. Now this is obviously good for us because we have been promoted to P7, and we can now go about the next race starting out of P7.
Big time, knowing that diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime.
Now this next race was honestly so good, and one that I'm so happy with, not necessarily because of the result, although it was actually one of my best. Just the way that I drove in the conditions that we were given. The tyre and the track was so unbelievably bad, I cannot even describe it to you. The fact that I kept it on the track for the entire 20-minute race is unbelievable. Now, as you can see, we've just had an absolutely mega start, taking an awesome position around the outside of turn 2. The only problem was that car had some pretty good pace on the opening laps, and as you can see here, I'm having to defend into turn 10. The safety car was deployed during this race, which I was not happy about. I'd built a gap to the car behind, and now they were going to have a go at overtaking me, and it wasn't looking like I had any pace over this red car ahead of me. As you can see, I've really buggered up this restart, leaving too big of a gap. However, we're going to be able to make this up pretty easily with the ability to brake later than anyone else into turn 1. Now we just need to fend off from the car behind and keep this thing on the road. Good to finish off Saturday with 2 awesome results. However, this was where my good luck would suddenly end. Heading into Sunday, I'd be starting race 3 in P6. What happened next would really put a damper on the weekend.
Just spun around, looped it at turn number 10. Young Zac.
So I've had a spin, but I've managed to get going again, and now I'm in 13th. Could be worse. Let's try and make our way back through the field. But I've decided to do something else entirely.
Sunday. Oh, off again, Kaplan, spinning around out of turn number 4, I think that is. He is right in the middle of this Winton Motor Raceway circuit. I don't know how he's ended up all the way out there. He's got
Are you up for a chat?
Sure.
What's your first name?
Zac.
Zac Kaplan. Catlin. What position were you in?
I was in 7th.
And what happened?
I locked the rears and spun.
Okay, do you want to take your helmet off?
Yeah, okay.
Yes, an unfortunate end to that race for Zac Catlin. What's wrong with the car?
Yeah, it was looking like a good race. Started off in 6th, unfortunately dropped the spot on the start. I was pretty eager to keep moving forward, but just locked the rears into turn 10 and went round, unfortunately. Being a 3-tyre championship with 6 rounds, we're on the used set for this round, and the conditions are obviously super tricky, but yeah, I felt like I had some really good pace this weekend and being 6th in the last race, but unfortunately just couldn't keep it going, so yeah.
So in your first season this year, but you just said we'll see you back in 2026?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, before this is my first season in just any kind of motorsport, really. I did 1 year of karting and sim racing before that, so it's been a steep learning curve, but a fun one for sure.
Baptism of fire, great job.
Thank you, cheers. So not only did that race suck, but I've also destroyed a front wing. And I've had to borrow one to get through race 4, which I can't really afford to damage either. Race 4 was better in the sense that I kept it on the track. I made 2 overtakes, but with the safety car being out for most of it, the grip being horrific, it wasn't the end of the weekend that we would have hoped for. All in all, I'm super proud of what I've managed to achieve this year and the developments that I've made as a racing car driver. If you told me 5 years ago, while I was watching Drive to Survive for the first time, that I'd be racing in a national category in a Formula car that I built myself, with almost 10,000 people subscribed to watch it on YouTube, I'd probably tell you that you're an idiot. A big thanks to my sponsors who helped me get through the year. Mario from Activ Digital, who actually reached out to lend a hand with funding on just the second video that I ever posted. SimworX Simulators jumped on board and provided us with one of their amazing simulators, which certainly helped me improve for the mid-season. Snus Australia for the much needed energy, and Murico for the epic steering wheel that completed the sim. Expect to see many more videos and a massive 2026. I'm going to say it now so I can hold myself to it, but I want to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2026. Let's do it.
Not only the championship, but the winter wrap. Congratulations. A massive achievement.
Yeah, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone this year who's helped me out. King Chrome, Ironclad ID, and the local chicken shop in Lilydale. They've helped me out a lot. So yeah, good year, good racing, and yeah, hopefully the category grows from here because it's already doing